好，晚安。来，今天跑这款伊迪芬奇的回忆豪宅。这款是纯叙事的，该怎么讲？是纯叙事的剧情游戏。然后这款好像有入围 GOTY 还是有得过 GOTY， 忘记了。剧情好像在讲说他们家人发生的事情，然后不是恐怖游戏，这点很重要。
塔利安
，Hello， 晚安。不是恐怖游戏，这点很重要。虽然我有些场景我还是觉得怕怕。
出完吗？
对，没有，其实不出完，应该说我没有全破，我自己私底下玩到一半，然后想说还是直接开台玩比较好，因为我都是进度推很慢，偶尔推这样子。所以就想说开一个实况把它一次推掉了。不过我实况会从头开始就是了。好，那就先开始吧。然后因为它没有它没有繁体中文，所以目前只有简体文。
这是什么类型的？
什么类型的？纯叙事的剧情游戏，没有动作要素，几乎没有。
哈喽，晚安。
算是互动型电影。Hello， 晚安。
RPG。
字幕。一开始是没有字幕的。
这是为了还愿做准备吗？
不是，还愿我不跑，当然是不跑。No， 还愿。还愿也下架，我也没办法买。没有，就算上架我也不会买。要怎么？有一个按 R1。
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
它的字幕的叙述方式很特别，就它不是只是在底下，不是在底下的对话框，所以
是恐怖游戏吗？
不是，它是就是在大概有个背景，就是他们家的人总是会因为各种奇怪的原因挂掉，然后他好像是他们家唯一的生存者，然后他就是回到他们当初的豪宅去回想他们之前发生的事情。对，最后生还者。可是这个跟恐怖游戏没关系，而且它几乎没有动作要素，就只是听他讲故事这样。
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
7年前账单上面写紧。稍等我一下。好， 把那个聊天室开起来。哦 ，OK。
我觉得这类型游戏比较像是互动式的电影了。
嗯，对，这是互动电影。然后他人名还是用英文，他没有用中文。
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
这是他们家的领地啊，上面，走上面可以走下，还是不行？好像没有差。过不去了。
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
咦，有动物。咦，有路了。再稍等一下。为什么我开台就是有各式各样的问题马上出来？
The truth is, even after I inherited the house,
什么问题？
I never thought I'd come back to it.
然后我家人又拼命赖我，就是在我开台不到5分钟就开始赖。然后蚊子也是在这时候出现的，一整天都没出现，就挑这个时候出现。
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
每天杀，每天都出现。
As a 17-year-old,
到底有多少次？
I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
有狗洞，我先看一下大门能不能过。
装纱窗啊！
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
我们家有纱窗，我房间没有，因为我房间，应该说窗户有纱窗，可是还是会进来。
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
只好钻狗洞。
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
你竟然会买这个
For the first time in years.
会买啊，这款也是有得过奖的吧？
I felt like I was home.
可是因为它没有动作要素，所以我一开始原本没有打算要释放。
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
家里有这种房子也太棒了，要是我就整年待在里面。
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
美国这种类似这种的房子还蛮多，他们地大嘛。
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
那你怎不玩奇异人生
Kappa.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
原本沉默的房子留下来，
卡崔娜来时，这边就多人去楼空。
卡崔娜是什么东西？
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
2005年飓风。
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
有忘记了耶。
美国路易斯安那州纽奥良造成了严重破坏。
嗯哼。
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
最后那一晚的龙卷风哦，所以你在讲的是他的那个，在讲他的背景故事。
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
好久不见，你好吗？
好久不见 ，Hello， 好久不见，我很好，你好吗？
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
珍重，再见。
再见。毕竟他这个整个气氛都很诡异。
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
我一开始还玩起来蛮怕怕的。
I spent a lot of time
会
playing
不
in
会
Great
是
Uncle
恐怖的？
Walter's
只
room.
是塔莉还不知道。
I think my mom
不
sometimes
是，因
regretted
为我有
not
看过
sealing
捏
it
他
up.
的捏他的评价的。
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
把震动关掉。不是很喜欢震动，可是他没有跟那种关震动的。谢谢你敏度。 怎么会没有震动？开关震动呢？面包到现在都还留着。
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Molly.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
万圣节糖。
I kept eating and eating.
牙膏耶。
I ate a lot of things that night.
那个可以吃吗？
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
猫，它变成猫了。
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
穿墙了。这个也要自己控制，我以为按一下就可以不管它自己去抓了。
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark!
Ta. 打住了。
史塔克。
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really
晒
good.
卡无罪。
哎，你说哦，海豹。诶，海豹呢？
Seal。
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water.
巴泽拉西。
When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
变触手了。
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Hmm? 在哪里？ 可以往上爬吗？不行。
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
就类似这种。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
不仅是因为他的财富，也因为他的不幸。
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
所以最后要去追他，这个家到底出了什么事？
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
晚安。
Hello， 晚安。
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
这个浴室也太毛了，到处都是粉红的
The
毛。
only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
这些机关真的是藏得很巧妙。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
标签不可能当前。
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Alvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
That's
what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
The
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
东西。
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
啊，来不及。这个不知道，真的不知道放哪边。聊天室不知道放哪边。
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
然后那个音乐盒是钥匙。
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Old Finch rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared.
好扯啊！
I'm furious.
我这个已经看过一次，可是第二次再看还是觉得很丑。
All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
又来了。不是这里。
Walter, are you there? Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
非常厉害。
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. Vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. Was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Surprise!
Bravo, Barbara!
You were wonderful.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending. I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
爱记破伤风哦，对了，因为这边是工作室，不会尖锐的东西。
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
他既然知道会震动，为什么要把那好人放在那么旁边
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
稍等一下啊。 OK， 好。
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Whatever's
out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
感谢订阅。
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left.
响亮的声音，你自己。
响亮的声音。
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Walter 的简单的墓，然后原本的火车轨道已经不在了。
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
感谢，欢迎来到塔利安星球。连续2个人订阅会让我以为是 bug， 应该不是吧？希望不是。
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
他们这个家还是还蛮先进的，都是有那个灯都是自动感应。
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness. Any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten
自动
used
感
to
应
it.
的灯才可怕。
可是
What kind
那
of
个年
family
代他们有自
finishes
动感应
building
的
a
灯，
cemetery before starting the house?
应该说他的这个年代也不明。
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
这些是宠物
3
的
of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
COE 对。
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
家族墓好像他们这边也是有这种，就是比较大人数的，好像会有这种家族。
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
那不是什么高端科技啊，就红外光扫描到它就会触发开关。
哦。
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
这个是老房子，就是之前沉没的老房子。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
所有事情的真相。
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
22周生日。对啊，她怀孕了。
你拿手机开拍照模式对着那种灯看荧幕，就看得到部分的红外光，肉眼看不到，但相机感光元件可以感应转换成可见光到荧幕上。
嗯哼。 22周是。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
这周
你会不会太专业
？5个月嘞，5个月。
They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise. You'll never forget
科
this
普一
weekend.
下嘛。
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
镜头会被拉回来，所以基本上也不能太过。
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
爱迪芬奇的什么什么公园。
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
这边要拍什么？应该是那座小岛吧。
而且这相机的 zoom 也太远。
拉太久好像会，拉太久，老爸会跟你讲说要拍哪个。印象中。
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done yet?
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff.
遥控器啊 ，BB， 钥匙扣、幽灵啊、妖怪啊、恐龙啊等等，都可以用手机相机的方式看到。
I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
对。
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
然后就这样过完了。
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
对自己的经验太过自信，就是最危险的。
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
看不见的呢，超能力人。这个要干嘛？
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
大人不在就开始超能力。
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. Reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy.
我怎么上去？他跟着转。这个，看不懂。这怎么多？
Silly it sounds.
不知道这听起来多少。
That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel her slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world we saw.
Oh, 被热死。
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
哦，不是，是冤死。
Gregory 是一个品质相当不错美国的登山背包品牌。
I'm sure he's happy. want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
诶，那我也是那个吗？这等一下，国家地理频道的那个英文是什么？算了，
古雷狗瑞。
我想到那个，我想到之前陪我妈去，不是陪我妈，陪我朋友去买相机包的时候，有国家地理频道的牌子，他们有在做那个相机的背包。
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met me, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh, 要去哪里？风筝一个打在人身上。诶，还要再点一次吗？你没办法收线。哦，这里。
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
所有人做的就是专心照顾。
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
不够吗？这样卷这样还不够吗？
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Gus. 弄那种头。
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
感谢，欢迎来到塔利安星球。可是我觉得是 bug 哎，糟糕。
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
诶，是卫衣。好像应该在外面再绕一下。
And for a while, things were good, almost normal.
没东西。看起来像教室，的确是教室，便宜的教室。
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
屋子画，一屋子画，一屋子的画。画得还不错哎。
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Hmm? 这怎么用？哦。要都没有那么厚吧？
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
算了，只讲故事。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
罐头厂。
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
也太有个性了，房子直接是用游艇。
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe.
左边要操纵那个幻想，然后右边要继续做罐头工厂的工作。
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats and toads and things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
我好羡慕啊，好羡慕啊！
好羡慕吗？只是他们家的人全部都挂光光了。你确定要住这种家？
But he found something more. I worried about him then.
也变，这有点像游戏的进化。
I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
那就表示遗产相当惊人。
天敌，你要活着。
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. Followed the sound of her.
彩虹直接过去。这是它的银树旗，电锅塔啊，电锅塔旗。电锅塔旗。啊，懂。
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
有点担心他的右手。突然转变
But he was so proud of having created it.
可是他的右手哈，
In his
我
own
觉得如果只是断右
eyes,
手
he
是不会
becomes
死掉
something
的，
greater
可
than
是
a
他
king.
挂了。
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
带着王室气派藐视。
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Go. 温馨是这样用的。 对啊，很温又没有温啊，也都能，很心照之。玻璃。
His queen waited, holding his crown.
这个东西怪怪的，对啊，这是断头台。
There was only one thing left to do. Then down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
妄想症。
皇后太胖了吧？
是这个问题吗？可是我觉得你会创作的话，你可以把你的想象力投资在创作上面。
On the way back from Lewis's funeral,
不想创作的人，因为毕竟我会画图，所以我有时候会觉得，当你没有什么兴趣，没有什么创作的兴趣的话，平常的时间你要怎么？ 去打发呢
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
当 couch potato 吗？当沙发马铃薯。
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
这是他的家吗？没有，这是他的房间吗
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
是他的房间。
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
他说 ，Your excuse 是说你可以离开的意思。
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. I've seen that house every day of my life.
而且刚刚又讲到地震。
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back
推荐一部影集，跟这游戏构成感觉有点像《鬼入侵》。
IMDb
上8.8分。
你光那个标题我就不想看。
Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
"如果刚才他手挥到一半，有人飙车过去跟他拍手就神作了。"
She didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
这个是那个
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Wow, 所以他母亲也挂了。$30.
这些是真人照片。
对啊。他刚那个好像是纪念某个去世的人，然后这些是他们制作这些人的童年的照片吗？Animator 动画师。Technical designer 艺术设计。Designer programmer unlockable programmer。Artist, character artist， 对啊，他都是找他们工作人员的童年照片，应该吧？
竟然有黑人，
要不然呢？当然是他们那边应该比较不会去那个吧，不会去。分什么什么的，刚刚有看到一个很像亚洲人，按到了，重玩过是已可使用，选择 Edit。
这是破关了的工作人员名单。
对对对，我把它跑完，刚不小心按到了，因为我预计它应该很短啊， 毕竟这种叙事的不长，而且我听到的心得也是不长，所以就挑这个时间跑一跑。
那等下播啥？
等一下播啥？等一下休息啦。都11点半呢。今天其实也差不多了，可是之后要开什么，好好再想一想，因为在
明天还假日，耶收这么早？
当然啊，为了健康，还是尽量不要熬夜啦，尤其是没有游戏玩的时候。test 那么多人。
最近游戏让你很失望吗
？Kappa，
让我玩不太下去。2012到2017，
只好等只狼了。
我可以先期待一下 DMC5吗？OK， 好，这边就重复了。好，其实我自己在跑这款的时候蛮怕怕的，因为毕竟它又是这种挑这种天气，又这个时间，但只是一个有点像回忆录的东西。不过还好把它跑完，的确是没有花太多时间。然后它的表现方式，我是觉得也不错。虽然互动不多，可是它的互动也蛮有趣的。好，那今天就先到这边。至于之后会开什么，我再想想好了。DMC5
888。
不知道哎，因为最近没有游戏，可能战神还没跑，战神的进度 New Game Plus 的进度还没跑，也许可能会跑战神，也说不定。好，那就先这样。都播
DMC5。
好像有
我有看到标年
出了，
标年
不要！
好啦，收播，感谢收看，晚安。